think we are ready to begin. Let's move that. There we are. All right, welcome everybody. We're getting ready for the start here. We have ourselves a new thing to watch. Now, I know we've got World Cup running here at the same time, and so a lot of people are probably thinking, why would we run a match in a league that's not usually prominently thought of? Well, to answer your question, we are going to do this today because I want to have some other options for things to broadcast here while NWSL is on break. So one of the women's leagues that's active right now is the League of Ireland. And so today we're watching the men's match between Derry City and Bohemians. I also might be swapping back and forth between the other matches since League of Ireland is only available on their own service unless you actually live in the country. So in this case, we're focused on this one, but we got a few other matches that I'll be keeping tabs on as we go. We are about to have kickoff here, so give me a moment as I get ready to start the timer. Derry City will be the one kicking off. We have begun. Yeah, the keeper all the way go up. So, by the way, they are in Celtic Park as for home today. That is not Derry City's natural home. They usually play, from what they've said, it's probably about a quarter mile off in what is known as the Brandywell. But that is currently undergoing pitch upgrades. So, at the moment, they're playing at Celtic Park nearby. So, different set of just different arrangement for people. Does appear to still be pretty well attended, all things considered. And they are hosting Bohemians, who currently sit in second of the standings. So, this is going to be a bit of a primer for all of us because while I have paid attention to the league, I have not gotten to watch a whole lot of it. I only started getting into it at the end of last season, like actually subscribing and watching on. Though it is a fairly fun product. So, let's go through here. We are already going. Bohemians has a free kick coming on their offensive third. Lineup, we've got about, it's like 6 players for Bohemians coming up. Trying to make a play at it and off the crossbar. Was a real shot on that one very early on. Almost had a goal here in the second minute. Dumps it back in. Is stuffed by the center back and Derry kicks it out. So while we've got a moment, I'm going to go through the starting lineups on this one. So allow me. So first for the visiting Bohemians. And just in advance, apologies for mispronunciations here. We got Colm Whalen, number 9. He is acting in goal. 3 on the defensive side. We have Harry Vaughan, number 8. Ross Tierney, number 26, in the center. And Dale Rooney, number 11, playing to the keeper's left. At that point, we have 2 midfielders, Sado Diallo, number 5, and Dawson Devoy, the captain, number 10. Attacking midfielders at the wings, we have Sam Todd, number 22, and Derek Power, number 16. And then 2 up front, acting as attackers, we have Sean Byrne and Patrick Hickey, number 24 and 12, respectively. Moving over, in goal for Derry, we have Eddie Beach, number 13. Going for the defense. And I am cross-referencing here because they only put last names on their actual lineup sheet, so I've got their team site pulled up as well. Number 19, we have Brendan Fleming. Just lost the screen for a moment. At number 3, we have Patrick McLean. Number 22, we have Connor Barr. And Barry Cotter, number 2. That is the defensive line. Moving on, we have... Actually, also playing in the defensive half, we have Cameron Dumigan, number 23. And so they have 5 defenders out. Some playing more as holding mids, understandably, but you do have 5 defensive players in. On the offensive half, we've got Adam O'Reilly. We've got Derek Markey. We have Michael Duffy, the captain. Number 21, Kevin Dos Santos. And number 15, James Clark. So we have 8, 10, 7, 21, and 15, respectively, there. All right, so I'll be trying to keep those up at the same time here. All right, so now, here we go. Duffy takes a shot and is stuffed there as Bohemians almost gave up a goal there as well here. Early 5th minute. A lot of action here. A lot of shots being fired. So as of this moment, the League of Ireland Women is on a week off. So I'll be going through a few things on this. As I said, this was an open time, so I decided to do League of Ireland here. And then I also might be able to do a World Cup match on Sunday. So we'll try a few things out. After the run League of Ireland here, because I wanted to at least give a run-through of the league before I test it out on the Women's League, which runs earlier in the morning here. This one is a much earlier point in the setup, so just something to pay attention to. Just a sec, if you notice me moving, that is because I am adjusting something behind me. Okay. Fires into the box. Diving stop by the keeper over on Bohemian side. I will note this is definitely not optimized for association football. You can see it immediately. Just the way the field is set. The paint job is extremely thin. You can tell this is more for Gaelic sports because you can see the lines. Because this field, I believe, is normally used for a mix of Gaelic football and hurling. So the field is more set for that with very, very slight white lines in place painted. Luckily, this will not last too much longer. It sounds like by the end of the month, Derry should be back in the Brandywell, able to play properly there. Bohemians kicks the ball out of the defensive half. It's immediately headed away by a Derry player. Bohemians recovers, but it stays on their defensive half. It's kicked back, and then up. Now it is into the offensive third. Players attempt to rush in. Third man run fails, and Derry is now on the counterattack. Once again, Duffy actually had a decent look there getting into the offensive third, but then 3 defenders against just him. He has to kick it back. Eventually a free kick is forced. And once again, they're attempting to dump forward, see if Duffy can make a play. He crosses in. No one available, and it's headed out of the box, and now Bohemians is back on the counterattack. Bohemians player falls over, attempting to sell the ball right at midfield. Derry capitalizes and sends it back to their defensive third. Ball kicked from the center back over to the left back. So now, once again, we have McLean Tempted to move forward, have to send it back. It's now all the way back to the keeper. Beach walking with it. Sends it over to the other side. Other side not able to form anything. Sends it back to Beach, who launches it forward this time. Sends it near midfield. 50-50 ball. Competed for, ends up at the foot of a Derry player who sends it, launches it up forward, but is not able to keep it in bounds. Goes out. And I'm sure they're used to it now with the way the lines are drawn up, but yeah, from a distance, it is difficult to track for sure. So, quick rundown of the standings here, because I know we haven't gone too deep into how the league is set. This is a 10-team league. It is quadruple round robin. So, you play at home against each opponent twice, and you go to their buildings twice each. At this stage, the league is around the halfway point. Most teams are about 19 in. And as of the current standings, just reading off where we are. And bear in mind, this is going with the live table. No one has scored in any match yet, so it is functionally the same. Shamrock Rovers, not counting the results right now, would be at 40 points at the top of the league. Bohemians sits second. They are the prime challenger right now, sitting at 34. St. Patrick's is sitting at 32, so only about 2 points back. 29 right now, we have Dunkirk. Shelburne at 26 is in 5th place. Derry City at 22 is in 6th. Very closely behind them at 21 each in a tie for 7th is Galway and Drogheda. Galway has a goal differential edge of about 4, which is why they are actually sitting in 7th. Sligo Rovers sits at 19, sitting in 9th place. And Waterford at 11 is currently in the basement. This is a promotion relegation league, so if you are in last place, you will be replaced by the champion. If you are in 9th place, you will have to compete in a playoff for your spot. So you would play the second option from the league below. That does not mean that will be the second place. They do let teams 2 through 5 run a single elimination tournament to get the honor of facing the 9th place team. But it is a matchup that you don't want to be in. So definitely avoiding the bottom 2 is paramount. This is not true of League of Ireland women, where they have 12 teams, more than the men. However, there is no structured league below, so there is no relegation into a second tier. Additionally, not every team in the League of Ireland has a male and female counterparts, so you do get a few women exclusive teams as well as a couple of male exclusives. Technically, Derry does have a women's team, but they do not compete in the League of Ireland. Derry is in an unusual spot. By the way, they are with the ball in the defensive half. This is serving as both a primer to this league as well as some running commentary. Ball has gone out. I believe they're calling for a corner. So Bohemians will be getting a corner coming here, as one of their players is on the ground. I think he's hoping to get a penalty called on behalf of Bohemians. However, the ball, it was clearly all ball, and then he just was unable to land where the Derry player had slid. So this will likely be a corner. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, with Derry City, they are in a unique entity in the league. This is the League of Ireland, meaning the Irish Republic, the one that makes up almost the entirety of the country, save 6 counties. And 9 out of the 10 teams, as well as every team in the second tier, compete compete in the Republic. And that led to a header from Derry. Ball gets back to Bohemians. They try to cross it in, overshoots everybody, rolls out for a goal kick. So Derry City plays in Ulster County on the northern Irish side of the border. Derry is effectively a city that sits right on the border at the edge of that county. So a lot of suburbs of it actually do cross in to the Republic of Ireland. And they competed in the Northern Irish League for a while. However, during the Troubles, the Brandywell was considered to be too prominent for a lot of the Northern Irish teams to be comfortable playing in, and Derry City took great offense. So they ended up joining the League of Ireland in order to compete in their traditional home. Now, that is not true of their women's team, who was founded far after all of this had taken place, and so they simply signed up to compete in Northern Ireland's Women's League. So you have a very odd situation where Derry City, which is a supporter-owned team, kind of gets to undergo similar identity crises of the entire Northern Irish culture as it shifts from Protestant to Catholic, from more unionist to more nationalist. And so you can kind of see the political movement shifting within the teams, and you see to the point that even the two gendered teams are in completely different national leagues. All right, so back to business here, though. Derry City has gotten it into the offensive third here. Ball is thrown back to about midfield. Back and forth between about 3 players as they attempt to get the defense thrown off. They're not taking the bait. So they attempt to move forward. Bohemians is able to take control of the ball. Kicks it back to their keeper, who launches it well past the midfield stripe. And now there is an attack at hand here. Potential here for Bohemians. Gets stuck behind a Derry defender, unable to turn around and get a clean shot. Goes out of the box, tries to kick it back in. Ball is headed out by a Derry defender. Bohemians back with it well outside the box right now. Byrne with the ball. Kicks it over to his left. Ball is sent back all the way past midfield, sending it all the way back to Whalen. The keeper has come all the way out of the box here, is attempting to send it forward. He succeeds. Ball rolls up. We have a runner. We have someone running through. Tries to kick it from well outside the box, and he succeeds. That is a goal for Bohemians. And that is Harry Vaughan picking up his first goal of the day. And the first goal of the game for everyone as Bohemians goes up 1-0. And you're seeing a lot of yelling, a lot of excitement around from the traveling, visiting fans. This was a gorgeous shot. It goes up, hits the near the upper left corner. The Derry keeper tries to dive for it, but this thing was just at too high of an angle to really have any shot of someone stopping. And just like that, we have our first goal. And that's a big deal for Bohemians, who this will push them to 37 points, puts them right back in contention here against Shamrock Rovers, assuming they are unable to register any goals themselves. Just to make a quick check-in. All right, so we've got Shamrock Rovers and Shelburne. Now this one, Shelburne in 5th place at the moment, right ahead of Derry. It is about even there, still 0-0, 0-0. At least as of my check-in right now, Shamrock Rovers is on the attack, but just see. Moving over. I'm just going to do a quick rundown of what I'm seeing in each match. 26 minutes in between St. Patrick's and Drogheda, still 0-0. St. Patrick is currently on the defensive, though, so we'll see what manifests there. If they can also remain relatively in the race here. Let's go to Galway and Dunkirk. Also 0-0, approaching the half-hour mark of this match. Currently 28:40. Galway attempted to get something off a corner, nothing doing. And then Waterford and Sligo. This one, admittedly, not that impressive of a match here. But there is a goal. Waterford has managed to score first as they are about to hit the half-hour mark. Almost scored a second one off of a corner just as I'm switching over. Yeah, so far, only 2 goals between all available sets. As I said, what that would do is it would move Waterford up to 14 points. Sligo would be at 19. So that automatic relegation slot would be far from set at the moment. Definitely a lot of ball to be played. Meanwhile, here, St. Patrick's looking for that goal where if Shamrock Rovers continue to stay pinned down, you could expect to see St. Patrick's as well, a mere 6 points out, make a real play for the title. So, lots of stuff going on here, and we're back to Bohemians and Derry. One thing that you did just notice probably is that these matches, the entire league is playing on a Friday. In fact, relatively early in the evening on Friday, all things considered. At least in the sense that it's still light. There's still some light out. No, it's not that early for him. I believe it's in time right now, probably around 8 p.m. However, in the League of Ireland's case, they are doing a Friday night primetime plan because they know the league is running against a potential issue with the Premier League. Obviously, being so close to the English Premier League kind of prioritizes it in a lot of the casual fans' minds, and they don't want to risk people losing interest in the league because it is running against a league that's an order of magnitude higher than them. But yeah, instead, it's kind of interesting. The women's league plays prominently there. They run in the Saturday slot, almost in a more premier spot for women's football than you would see really anywhere else. They're not playing in the primetime spot. It's more late afternoon. But they do have a slightly more prominent spot, which definitely a nice change of pace there. All right, so we are now 23 minutes in here. Actually, I do need to update the timer a bit. I just realized we're a few seconds off. That should be enough. Yep. Now we're only off by about a second. All right, so here we go. Derry City, very close. Easy shot. A misplay on Bohemians' part, playing defensively, leads to the ball getting stolen right on the outside of the box. Pass to James Clark, who's just standing dead center at the penalty spot. Makes one move off the dribble against the last defender, and then fires at the keeper. No chance to stop this. It's just a crossover with his legs, and he fires with his left foot before the keeper can even respond properly. And with that, we are level. An excellent equalizer on that part. Now we're in line for a kickoff from Bohemians. There's a kickoff straight to the keeper. Launches it forward. The attacking line attempts to make something happen for Bohemians. Ball is immediately lost. The pass goes into no man's land, though, and Bohemians is able to recover. They're in their defensive third. Defensive line kicks it back to the keeper. They attempt to reset. I have some coffee with me here. Now here we go. And there it is. Derry City off a free kick here. They attempt to press forward. A lot of pressure as the press comes in, and they're forced to run it back. Send it to the keeper who launches it forward. There's a fight on the 50-50 ball. Whistle is blown, and it looks like they are calling foul on Derry. It'll be Bohemians free kicking. And there's the kick to his right. Ball moves over to the left. Comes the run up. Vaughn trying to do something with it. Kicks it up. There it is, Duffy coming in from the opposite side. He's moving over to the right. Santos tries to kick it forward and ends up on a Bohemian head. Devoy tries to go through. He gets stuffed by a Derry defender. Ball's kicked over to the left side, forced up the field before Bohemians can try to recover it. Ball in Derry's hands again. Duffy again moves through, tries to shoot at the goal, gets stuck in a defender's leg, and the ball just leads to the Bohemians goalkeeper diving right near the legs and pulling the ball out before anyone can do anything with it. More back and forth here. Ball kicked up. Bohemians, one attacker against 3 Derry defenders, and that goes exactly where you expect it. McLean kicks it back. Beach launches it. Field movement so far. By the way, if you were noticing that the timers on this match feels later. By the way, there was a header just now by Bohemians. Misses the net pretty widely. I don't think he was expecting it because the ball kind of came in at a sharp moment where it was clear that Rooney was not expecting it at second and just kind of jumped up, and the ball gets flung. But as I was saying, when it comes to why this game has played fewer minutes than most of the others, that was because of a slight delay. It was unclear what was causing it, but yeah, there was a slowdown in getting started. And here it comes. And McLean right here is defending the ball. He pressures it. Ends up wheeling the guy off balance, and this is going to be a free kick. Bohemians is getting a free kick fairly close to the goal in this case. I'd say maybe about 2 to 3 yards at most outside the box. We have 2 Derry players acting as a wall. Looks like they were trying to eliminate the possibility of a angle on the inside of the net. So they're forced to kick over, and it goes over everything. That'll be a goal kick. Woo! We got ourselves another goal kick coming here for Derry as we just hit the 30-minute mark. 15 remain, plus injury time. I'll be grabbing my lunch here at half. And a lot of back and forth headers and passes from Derry, trying to string something together. Unable to. Ball is kicked back. Keeper launches it. It rolls out of bounds. So far, an attempt to string together passes has not really materialized for a lot of these guys. Throw in made. Ball is forced back. Bohemians send it all the way back to the keeper. And tries to set it up. The pressure forces him to shorten it a little bit so it doesn't make it all the way to midfield. So the player who is able to come up with it for Bohemians ends up relaying it forward. Foul is called as they attempt to beat the Derry defense to race to it, and ends up failing. So as of this moment, because of the point results, St. Patrick's, by the way, did manage to score. This is a big moment because at this current moment in the standings, St. Patrick's has a goal differential of plus 15, which is actually the most in all of the League of Ireland. They were even with Shamrock Rovers, but that goal would put them ahead. So with that goal differential advantage over Bohemians, they would move into second place. Bohemians will need a goal to go back ahead, both in this match as well as retaking position 2 and continue their chase of Shamrock Rovers. Ball's kicked up. Bohemians tries to kick it up, and 50-50 ball. It's considered to be off the Derry player's head, and this will be a Bohemian throw. One thing we didn't mention is that with St. Patrick scoring, Drogheda has dropped to cleanly 8th place. They are a point now behind Galway. Bohemians running backwards again. The defensive pressure has been very good here, and they force it over to the keeper. Tries to send it forward. It does succeed on the backswing, but as the player attempts to sprint, Derry is able to time it and take it away. Bohemians running forward. He's going to demand a foul called as he falls over, and they are accepting it. If you're willing to call for a ticky-tack foul, that one is accurate. Derry's player did grab on the shoulder, and he went down in a way that it looked like the shoulder caused it, though it does not. I do not think that was actually what caused that. The free kick gets headed by Derry towards their keeper, who recovers. He decides to roll the ball instead of throwing or kicking it. And the defensive line for Derry just kicks it up the field in hopes that someone will come up with it. And he does. Clark ends up with the ball. He's running into the box. Tries to send it over. And almost leads to a one-timer. Duffy goes to slide for it. He does get a foot. But his defender sliding in just gets enough of the ball that it's forced to roll right, and it just misses the net. I know roughly a similar amount of time is taking place in the World Cup match for those who are keeping tabs. Oh, there's an attempt on the corner kick for Derry to try to make something happen. It does. There is a very good shot fired here. The keeper punches the ball away. And an excellent shot attempt by Dumigan, but it goes wide left, and this will be a goal kick. Anyway, for those keeping their attention on the World Cup, Bosnia-Herzegovina is up 1-0 on Canada about 28 minutes into the match. And tonight, so that is kicking off the matches in Canada the same way Mexico's matches were kicked off yesterday. And the debut match in the United States, first match played in the United States for the World Cup, will be Team USA playing Paraguay. Alright, so anyway, Bohemians had tried to press the ball forward. Defense forces it out. This looks like it will be a throw-in, as we are now 36 minutes into this match. One thing that will affect the League of Ireland here is that the World Cup is going. Usually the leagues will go on pause to let their players go, but since the League of Ireland is primarily players from Northern Ireland and the Republic, neither team qualified, so they can pretty much run matches with their local rosters, and it's not affecting them too badly. Ball kicked forward for Bohemians. Ball ends up out of bounds. Ball went out, is called for Derry. Derry throws it in. Instead lands on a Bohemian feet. A Pele kick sends the ball forward. And once again, Bohemians with the ball trying to get an open space. However, they are called for a foul as the Derry defender goes down. I don't know that that was necessarily a pull down. It looked like the Derry player was diving in, but regardless, that'll lead to the keeper taking a free kick here for them. Just received the report in the commentary that Shelburne has managed a goal on Shamrock Rovers. So that would be a massive shift, as Shamrock Rovers would drop back to 40 points and only have a 5-point lead on both St. Patrick's and Bohemians at the current moment. And that would give Bohemians definitely incentive to go for another goal here for sure, as it could move them within 3 points. Meanwhile, this will also move Shelburne up to 29 points. Very much in striking distance of Dunkirk, who sits at 4th place. And there's a throw-in for Bohemians. Pressing up the left field side of the field. They have definitely been spending a lot of time up on the left side. Ball looked like it was going to go out, but it ends up stuck in the corner. Derry player has to run it down. Tries to kick it up, but there's nowhere to move. And so that'll be a throw-in for Bohemians very near to their box as we enter the 40th minute here. Here comes the throw-in. It's going all the way into the box itself. Does manage to go off of Bohemian's head, but nowhere in the direction of the net, so they are forced to send it backwards. Ball goes through again out of bounds. Where are they calling it? They're calling it as a corner kick. Bohemians will take the corner. We go. Corner kick coming. Ball goes up. Punched out by the keeper. It's not out yet, not out of the woods yet. And finally, Derry player is able to hook it and get it out to the defensive side. Bohemians now with it, but having to basically start from scratch. Ball stolen. Duffy trying to give Santos a person to pass to. Duffy's able to get, sends it into the box. Bohemians intercepts it before any more damage can be done. There we go. Ball is kicked back. Bohemians keeper once again with the ball. Sends it up forward. And crossed up. Tries to make a move. He gets tripped up, and they are calling the foul. Marquis a little bit surprised. Looks like he had chalked up as he got all ball, but the ref disagrees. Ball once again sent back to Wayland, the keeper. And kicked up. Apologies here, just getting an update here. We got an injured player for Derry. This is going to give me a chance to swap over into another match. So I'm going to briefly go over where we're sitting with the Shelburne Shamrock Rovers match, which is 36 minutes in. Though that might be the result. I'm unclear if that's the time or if this one in particular is operating on a slight delay, because this one specifically talks about how the match is available on Virgin Media, which I believe is the broadcaster for one game each week in this league. Right now, it has been sent pretty far back. It looks like, Shamrock Rovers trying to figure out where they can mount their most aggressive moves here. Kicks it forward, goes straight out. But I think they might be giving him a corner. Yep. Shamrock Rovers about to receive a corner kick here. We'll see what happens. Could this be the opportunity to level the match? Instead of going deep, it's a give and go. Into the box from the top corner. And the attempt is shut down by a Shelburne defender. I do want to also check on how St. Patrick's is doing. I believe the match is at halftime because they have switched to showing a League One match. Alright, so then back into the Derry match. Time has been added. We're going to take an extra 2 minutes. Duffy running up on the left side. Ball is kicked. Almost an own goal. But he dug underneath and was at least able to get the ball above the net. That was extremely dangerous on the part of Bohemians to just try to defend it that way. Because you're kicking in the polar opposite direction you want to be going. You're right in front of the net. If that doesn't go high up, that is an own goal. So once again, we have a corner kick coming. Duffy near the keeper. Nothing doing. And now a Bohemian defender is hurt. This, by the way, 2 minutes of injury time added. We are in the 2nd minute of it already. And trainer coming out again. As I said, we are waiting for this one to hit halftime, then I will be microwaving my lunch. So they did say, it does sound like Derry's new field at the Brandywell is going to be a hybrid grass. Supposed to be a little bit softer, a little bit more protective. It has been laid. It's just they need to take now. I am actually very happy that the almost all these teams are community owned. So obviously expenditures are something you have to keep in mind. So it does make me happy to see that player safety and comfort was being taken seriously and that they weren't simply going to be content with having effectively the Heinz Field treatment of just really poor quality grass. They have upgraded themselves. That's a nice feeling. All right, so we are not at the end of this half yet. There was still about probably 45 seconds of actual time to get stuff done. There's the kick. Keeper stuffs it for Derry, sends it to the defensive line. They're going to try to make one more attack here. It's unclear when the whistle is going to happen, but we know it's going to be happening soon. And a whistle has been blown. There it is. We are at halftime here. I'm going to stop the timer. And there it is. We are at 45 minutes. We'll be switching to the second half here shortly. But yeah, we are at halftime now. So I'm going to get that stuff prepared for myself, which means I am going mic off as we take our break in the action. We'll see you all in a little bit. Alright, everybody. Back in the action here. Moment, just get everything settled. Alright. The half should be getting started here very shortly. Now, still got my food here, got a little bit of coffee left. So have some ground beef, some broccoli, and some baked beans. I've meal prepped for quite some time, so at this point it is old hat, but I'm just looking back over here, seeing what the updates are on the matches, if anything has changed. So at this point, no change in a result has happened. It's visible. Dunkirk and Galway remains the only match that is completely scoreless. Players not yet on the field, so I am going to shift over for a moment just to see what's going on in that match. They are pretty far in. They're actually already over 10 minutes into the half. So at this stage, it just looks like a lot of stunted movement, like the flow of the game has not really been going, which is definitely favorable to a team who's a little bit lower in the standings. Dunkirk on the attack right now, actually. Attempting to get themselves clear for a shot. And there is, like, no one on that side. There's, like, an entire section of seating where there's just nobody available. And Galway is able to get it away. Yeah, just looking at it right here, it does seem like Dunkirk has the better squad, but Galway is definitely playing with aggression. They're very game for this one. And just in times it was like players are getting onto the field, so we should be starting up this half very shortly. Getting themselves in position. There'll be a kickoff here. I believe this should be Bohemians' kickoff. Kickoff about to begin here. Looks like Devoy is going to be the one who makes the kick. Sends it to Vaughn. And the timer is going. Let me get that running. Waiting for the clock to go up so that make sure it matches. All right, so only off by about a second. We're a little bit ahead, but should work now. Ball went out. Derry is going on the counterattack here, attempting to make a goal early. They will get a corner kick out of this as the defenders are forced to send it out of bounds. Wait a second, I forgot to get my seasoning for the roast beef. So right now it's a little bit bland, but nothing too bad. Anyway, we got Santos again with the ball. Kicks it back. Right now, Derry is just outside of the box trying to find the opening that they need. Ball kicked over. Santos again. Not able to shake him away. And about 2 Derry players knock over the Bohemians player going for the ball. Foul was called, but just because of the close quarters, it still ends up being fought for. And it's out again. I think this one is a throw-in for Bohemians. This will be Byrne making the throw-in. I think the camera's moving a little bit more close up this time because Bohemians wear a black jersey with red writing. And because of the shade of red, it is very difficult to read. In fact, their sponsor, which has white writing, is actually a lot more noticeable on their backs. We hadn't gone over kit colors here, but yeah, Bohemians wearing all black, red trim. Derry City, their home jersey is white with red stripes, looking like a candy cane. With dark shorts, I believe black. Ball is forced out. There he's going to make a throw. Whistle has to be blown, though, because there is a Bohemians player down. His knee appears to be, I think it was cramping. Ball goes back into play. So the ball gets thrown in. 3 players swarm him, and Bohemians is able to kick the ball up, but it is immediately blocked back by a Derry player who keeps it on the defensive line, who's already in the offensive half of the field. Pressure from Bohemians finally mounts. Ball is forced back to their keeper. I did notice here just now, Derry's keeper has changed his jersey. Both keepers, I did not mention this, and I thought it was odd, but they're both wearing this very bright green colored jersey, and that might have been what was causing the delay. I mean, it could have been anything, but like that would not surprise me if the fact that the keepers weren't wearing matching kits was a problem, or that they were. So yeah, I'm seeing Derry's keeper now wearing a purple jersey instead of a green one. So I think that might have been just to differentiate the two. I'm about to say a lot of things with these kits, because ordinarily you're supposed to have the kits look as different as possible, so it is impossible to tell, to not be able to tell who is who, which is why it surprised me both teams are allowed to wear black shorts. Right, Bohemians with the ball. Send it back to their keeper, still wearing his green. back to the defensive line. Ball is pressured and knocked off balance. Derry is not able to seize full control, and Bohemians is able to turn this into a counterattack. They're running up an empty right side of the field. Try to send it up to for a shot in the box, but it runs too far forward, rolls past, and the ball ends up on a Derry defender's foot, and now they are trying to press forward and counter. Unable to get free of their defender, though. Good recovery by the defensive line of Bohemians. I will say, from a tactical standpoint, looking at the difference, now really getting to pay attention to League of Ireland here versus, let's say, NWSL, which we're normally covering, you can definitely see this is not one of the top leagues in the world. You can see a lower caliber compared to what we normally are doing, where it feels like a lot of the tactics are a little more defaulted and planned. This feels very much like everyone is setting up and trying to create a busted play. Like, the entire strategy is to just deal with losing the ball back and forth a lot, and then eventually something breaks down and it leads to a real attack. So it is a little more of an active participant in the confusion style, whereas definitely it feels like while there is aggression in NWSL, it now actually feels a lot more controlled. Like, the players actually do have some intention of what they're doing. And I think that is a nice perspective. The tag made by Derry, unable to get a shot, though, as it goes into the box and runs into about 3 Bohemian players all at the ball at once. This is a swarming style of defense. And ball kicked out. Should lead to, I believe this is a goal kick. Yeah, and he just passed it over. Defensive line just taking the ball. Yeah, instead of launching it, they tried to build something from the back line, but the pressure just not working out in their favor. Lunch. Still got a banana here. Ball kick back. Once again, Whalen sends it up. This time he actually does put it in the air. Tries to see if he can get to a Bohemians player in the midfield. Does not work out. It ends up on a Derry foot, who kick it back to the defensive line and all the way back to their keeper, who launches it up. And it stays with them. This one actually might be an opportunity. Just waiting for one of those plays to actually materialize, and ball's in play, crossed into the box. Ball kick from the top, and oh, that is a shot! Oh my, from a very long distance on that one, but it is a goal on the part of, oh, I'm getting a call. But from Connor Barr, he runs up as the ball goes into the area outside the box in a no man's land, and he just decides, you know what? I'm going to fire at the goal and see what happens. And the keeper was not prepared at all. Hits the upper left corner, and that is a goal almost in the exact same spot where Bohemians scored their goal from a distance. It was outside the box. It was actually at the edge of the blue paint, which I believe belongs to the hurling field. But yes, that is a goal for Derry. The score is now 2-1. Really good awareness on that, and it was mostly just a, you know what, they're not, are they actually paying attention to us back here? Can they respond? And the answer was no, they can't respond. That worked out well. Now we'll see if they play a little more guarded to prevent stuff like that from happening here, but... Ball goes out of bounds. Bohemians will get a throw in their defensive half. Now here we are, 56.5 minutes in here, and there's a Derry player down. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to also check on some of the other scores around here. World Cup currently in the 52nd minute. Bosnia-Herzegovina still ahead 1-0 on Canada. A little bit of a surprise there. It was a fairly equal group, but I figured Canada would be playing a little more up to snuff. Once again, showing off that goal. That is a beautiful kick. And it, by the way, is the scorer, Connor Barr, who has been moved to the side. I think it was a cramp after the celebration. He is currently getting treated, and it looks like he's getting stretched. Ball goes out down the 50-50 ball, and it will be a throw-in. Still in the offensive half for Derry, and they're attempting to make something occur here. They would love to go up 3-1 right now. This would be a very sudden shift in the action if this were to materialize. Some other result changes. Waterford just got their second goal. They can manage one more. They're basically even with Sligo Rovers in goal differential. It would only be a 1-goal difference, which would obviously shift if you were moving up in the standings. So you would be able to eventually so you would be ahead by that point. St. Patrick's managed another goal. It's 2-0 over there now. That grants a little bit more of a pad to Galway as well, who sits still in 7th. This goal for Derry keeps them 4 points behind Shelburne for 5th. Now they would only be 5 behind Dunkirk. So they have gained ground in the push to get to 4th. So there is a few reasons why such things matter, because in Europe, qualification is something that is, for European tournaments, is where you get a rush of money. It's why Shamrock Rovers are a perennial contender. By the way, we do have a substitution coming up here for Bohemians. Flores will be coming in for Diallo, so number 5 getting replaced with number 6. And number 11, Dale Rooney, is going out in favor of Parsons. So we have a midfield shift, as well as a defensive shift on Bohemians' part here as we are rapidly approaching the 1-hour mark of the match. But as I was saying, in terms of European qualification, Ireland just moved into, I believe it was 31st place. And what matters about that, and the reason why even being just outside the top 30 in UEFA matters, is because of the way the leagues are broken down. If you are above the 33rd position, or 33rd and up, by the way, attack coming for Derry. A shot hits the post. A rebound shot comes through, and are they calling offside? No! That is a goal off of a rebound. And Derry has jumped out to a lead here. I saw a fire off from way back. It had struck the post, and suddenly 3 Derry players just bull rushed the ball before Bohemians could even respond to what they had just seen. So let me see. I'm just trying to see who was responsible on this one. So, yeah, 5 and 15 here. So, yeah, that was James Clark getting the goal. I thought that said jersey 5, but I might have been off on that one. I did see a single-digit number, so it's very possible it was O'Reilly. But, yeah, shot from the back, goes off the post, and then Clark just rushes the ball and forces it into the lower right corner. So very well handled there to go off the rebound. And this score is now 3-1. Still a lot of time in the game, but yeah, to once again give people more of an idea, qualification for Europe is interesting in the sense that basically every country receives an entry into the Conference League. However, if you are at the bottom, you're actually favored for a second conference position rather than a single Europa position. So the lowest countries do not get to enter the Europa League. Because of the success here, the League of Ireland was allowed to take their FAI Cup, which is their annual cup competition, and give the cup winner access to the Europa League. And that is why Derry City will be competing in Europe this go-around. And so now we are in a scenario where... Oh, another one coming. Duffy tries to shoot. Nothing from there, but Santos with it. And this has become a romp as Santos takes the pass and just pops it in. 4-1. And this has turned into a rush. This goal differential is extremely important now because that puts Derry City's goal differential at +2, which is actually ahead of Shelburne. Meanwhile, Shelburne just gave up a goal against Shamrock Rovers. That match is even again, and Shelburne's 4-point edge on Derry has dropped to 2. So again, this is what I was actually bringing up and why I thought it was so important to mention this, because the way the league is structured, 4 European slots are available for Ireland. The top 3 positions, the champion to the Champions League, second and third to the Conference League, and the cup winner to the Europa. However, if the cup winner is also the winner of the league, like they complete the double, then the runner-up, number 2, moves into the Europa, and 3 and 4 would go to the Conference League. So being in the top 4 is a deeply important thing. This win against a win here against Bohemians does not move them out of the top 3, obviously, but it potentially offers an opening here where Derry could find their way pushing back into 4th place. Which, again, if that could... 4th place very likely gets you a spot in the Conference League, because it's extremely unlikely that the top 3 do not also end up providing the FAI Cup winner. So the 4th place team will have to get pegged for the Conference League in most seasons. And that's where the battle is now sitting. If Dunkirk does not make a shift here soon, and they're stuck only 3 points ahead of Shelburne, 5 ahead of Derry, you're looking at potentially a three-way fight for that fourth position. And potentially Bohemians, if they go cold, falling into that mix as well. Now, I've been sitting on this thing for a little bit. So, since this match has turned into a runaway, and in fact, it's not the only runaway, because Waterford has now scored 2 additional goals and now has a better goal differential than Sligo. Still down 5 points in the standings, obviously. But if they were to be even, right now, Waterford would be very much sitting pretty. And St. Patrick's, a 2-goal lead. That does not appear to be shifting. So what I'm looking at is the matches worth paying attention to right now, since we have 3 of the 5 having definitive results, will be to switch back and forth between Shamrock Rovers and Shelburne, which is a 1-1 match, and Dunkirk versus Galway United, which is a 0-0 match. So we're going to sit with Galway and Dunkirk for a little bit. Yeah, we'll stick with this one for a bit because they're in the 82nd minute already. I will update standings here, or update the scoreboard. So give me a moment. I'm going to take this thing off screen for a little bit. There we go. It's been moved off screen while I update it. I'm just looking at making sure I've got this well done. And then Dunkirk. Oh, Dundalk. Apologies there. Alright, so I'm updating it now here. Just be back set to 0. Almost there. Alright, so that's pretty close to accurate. Alright. So we'll stick here for a little bit. 85th minute at the moment. I am about maybe 3.5 seconds ahead on timer, but close enough that shouldn't make too much of an impact here. Galway with the ball. They're going to be doing a corner kick. Definitely some noise being made here. The crowd is urging them on as they sense there could be an upset. They could make this happen. Shelburne, by the way, just took a 2-1 lead on Shamrock Rovers. There's still about 20 minutes in that match, though. And a whistle is blown as Dundalk's keeper looks like he got hit on the way down catching the ball. And so he is not getting up. He doesn't look too off. I think it's just a stinger, but... Or he's just acting very badly. Here he comes. He makes his kick from a free kick position. They decided to call it a foul. I don't have the rosters up on this one, so this is just going to be whatever I can give you. All right, Dundalk making a run up in the offensive third. It's currently on the right side of the field, which would be far side on the camera. Whistle is blown. They want a free kick going back. Galway tried to make a run at this, but nothing doing. The refs said it has to be done as a free kick. All right. Alright, so while this is going here back and forth, Galway on the defensive side, we're going to be trying to press forward. I was going to go through where everyone sits. At the current moment, the first round of the FAI Cup has completed. As effectively, they had the first round was all qualifiers from regional leagues, so you got to see a lot of lower tier teams going at it. This was, the provincial league going here was 25 teams added. I do think there might have been... Yeah, part of that is off. It must have been a play-in match or something, or it's miscounted. But basically, yeah, all the provincial stuff happened last month. And now the 20 teams who are in the proper League of Ireland are joining in the tournament next month. So that'll be running. So functionally, it's a 32-team tournament from here. And champion will get themselves into the Europa League. That final is scheduled for November 8th this year. Alright, so back on looking on here. The ball has been in Galway's side for a long portion of this. Just looking at... Just watching a little bit of this as we hit the 90th minute. Ball hits the post. Oh, that was about to be Well, it's going to be a corner, but this game has been in the Galway offensive third for most of the last few minutes. Nothing really materializing, but that one going off the post, very important because it forced a quick reply. And now, with the corner opportunity, still with the ball, can they get another shot at this? There is still another 2.5 minutes. They are in injury time. They're adding 3 minutes, of which almost 1 minute is gone. Can they get another shot at the net? And he got it! What a late goal! That was a miracle goal there. And it is very likely Dundalk will end up with nothing if they do not respond quickly. Oh, sorry, I had it backwards. Not going. That was Dundalk. I had the coloring completely off because I was looking at the light coloring. No, I have to switch that. Yeah, I understand now why they do set it up by jersey color. I can see underneath the name, they show what jersey it's supposed to be. Dundalk is wearing a very... It does almost look pale blue. It's a white jersey, but it's got like a hue to it. And so I made the connection that it was Galway. But no, that is a away goal. Huge moment. And that may be a big shift in the standings now. I mean, it won't cause a big shift yet, but it takes them from 30 points to 32 points and would put them in striking distance of Bohemians and within 3 points of St. Patrick's. So the battle for second is now extremely tight. And there is still potentially an opening for someone to challenge Shamrock Rovers. This does create a bit more of a gap where now I would argue no one really below Derry would have a shot. So we might be seeing some tiers building up here where 1 through 4 is a tier, 4 through 6 is a tier, and then 7 through 10 you basically have your teams matched. Unless Galway can make a shift quickly. And ball forced back. As now Galway trying to level this game quickly, but are they going to blow the whistle before it happens? Suddenly they're more aggressive, and it's actually leading to potential for shots. They haven't gotten a clean one, though. All of the shots have been blocked by legs. Ball finally stolen, and that's where the whistle's going to be. They gave him as much of a shot as they could. But that is points taken at the end. Dundalk will now sit at 32 points in the standings. And so that was a huge one there. So this has been a pretty fun one. I've been enjoying this. Obviously, we've stopped really following the Derry City Bohemians match because it has turned extremely ugly. However, we can switch over to Shelburne and Shamrock Rovers, which is running at a slightly later time frame. They're about 78 minutes in. We'll watch that to the finish. Give me a moment, and I will switch over. Gotta switch the scoreboard again. I think we're almost prepped. I just have to rewind the timer back a bit. There we go. Timer is actually perfect this time. Off by maybe like half a second. And Shamrock Rovers almost ended up with an own goal as I looked up. Ball was fired into the box, bounced off two Rovers players, and ball nearly ends up in the net, but they were luckily able to get through it before it get it off to the side and then dump it out. So here we go. Less than 10 minutes in regular time here. Again, this is major for the standings right now. Now here it comes. Free kick will be given for a trip up just as they were entering the offensive half. So Shamrock Rovers will be getting a chance to do something. As Shelburne argues, what's happened here? There is a substitute coming in, number 11 coming off for Shelburne in favor of number 20. So that is Odebeko leaving. And then number 17 also coming off the field, Kelly. And coming in his place is, looks like number 18. So 2 substitutions happening at once. Yeah, that was Daniel Kelly leaving, James Norris coming in. Yeah, there will be some added time for sure. So these are 2 very successful teams within the league. This is a league that has had 9 different champions, so nearly the entire league. As a matter of fact, looking at it, 8 of the teams who have won championships are still at the top level. So you have Drogheda and Sligo, both at 1 title each in 2007 and 2012, respectively. Derry City is a 2-time champion, winning the 88-89 season as well as the 96-97 season. So it's been some time. The only team not currently at the top level is Cork City. They were relegated fairly recently. They do appear to be running away with League One, so they should be back up to the top fairly soon. But they're a 3-time champion, the 92-93 season, 2005, and 2017. Bohemians, a 4-time champion, going to the 2000-2001 season, the 02-03, as well as the 2008 season and the 2009. You can tell just from the description when they switched to the start in February format. That was, it looks like 2003 was the season where it occurred. So Bohemians were the last champion under the old format. St. Patrick's, 5-time champions, the 89-90 season, 95-96, 97-98, 98-99, and the 2013 season. Shelburne here is a 7-time champion, 3rd all-time. First championship in the 91-92 season. There was a shot at net by Shamrock Rovers, but saved by the keeper, and it is forced back out immediately. Now Shelburne trying to take advantage of the weakened defensive line while they were all rushed forward. And physical battle. The last remaining defender ends up seizing control of the ball before he can shoot. But yeah, Shelburne, 7-time champions, 91-92, 99-2000, 01-02, and then 4 in the new format, the 2003, they were the first one under the new format. 2004, 2006, and then 2024, not the most recent champion, but close to it. Dundalk, who we just saw pick up a victory, is 8-time champions, getting their first title in the 87-88 season, 90-91, 94-95, and then 5 titles, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2018, and 2019. So a little bit of a mini dynasty, or a full dynasty among the Irish there, but no title since 2019. In that time, Shamrock Rovers has taken over as the main team, claiming 10 titles. 85-86, 86-87, 93-94, and then 2010-2011. So that would be 5 titles. And then they have, since the COVID season in 2020, won 5 titles. So that 2020 title, 2021, 2022, 2023, and now 2025. So they have won 5 titles in the last 6 years. They're definitely in a stronger place than they were. A lot of teams here picking up momentum for sure. But in terms of the current league, the entire top 6 of the league has claimed titles, as well as the 8th and 9th place. And then, yeah, so... And what's interesting is you got Galway United and Waterford, the only 2 in the league currently with no championship. But one just barely got in, so let's be fair on that. So what's interesting also is Dundalk, who just claimed that victory and is still in contention. Previous season was down in the first division, so this is quite the swing for them to get back up. So Waterford, a long-time team, just not much in the way of hardware. They did win the original League of Ireland 6 times. We've only been talking about the modern version of the League of Ireland, but they were 6-time champions back then. Incidentally, Galway United, in terms of their history, they have never claimed the old League of Ireland. However, they have been the runner-up in the League of Ireland once, in 85-86. So among them, they are the least notable on that front. That said, in the old League of Ireland Cup, they did win it twice, so they have some hardware. All right, so we are, by the way, now 88.5 minutes in. I'm giving a bunch of primer for people. We're learning a little bit of history together. Figure it'd be a nice chance to all kind of learn things together. It's nice. Free kick from the top of the box was on target of the goal, but a diving stop by the Shelburne keeper, making sure nothing materializes here. Yeah, here comes the drop kick. Yeah, the Premier Division started in 85-86. But if we actually want to look at the entire history going here, even before they moved through, a lot of these teams had claimed titles here. So Shamrock Rovers actually sits at 22-time champions here. Shelbourne and Dundalk both have 14. Bohemians 11. St. Patrick's 8. Waterford 6. Cork is at 5. Or sorry, Cork United is. Cork City's at 3. Yeah, you can see all these teams as they lay through. Galway United is, at this moment, the only one without a trophy among the top 10, and even among teams who were just recently relegated, because Cork is a new relegation. All right, 4 minutes are being added. To give you an idea as to how the league is going, about halfway through. Cork City is currently the runaway leader. Remember, 2nd through 5th get to compete in their own mini tournament to decide who faces the 9th place team for another spot. Right now, that would be University College of Dublin in 2nd place, Bray Wanderers, Colb Ramblers, and Wexford. And they're all at least 3 points clear of the lower half, but we will see if anyone moves through there as well. But right now, those would be the 4 that compete. So for next season, what is interesting is that they are going to begin next year with an FAI National League, which is going to be the 3rd tier of Irish football. The plan is to have a 20-team 3rd level that is split into a northern half and a southern half. This upcoming year, they only have 15 that are going to be ready to go. Corner kick coming, by the way, now. Shamrock Rovers. Again, attempting a tie here, 2 minutes in. So it'll be 3 groups of 5 this go-around. Oh, the keeper came down as well. They have pulled the goalie. Ball has gone out. It's a throw-in. He is running back now that it is clear. They can't just have him there the whole time. Shelbourne trying to hold this off. A lot of bouncing back and forth here off the headers. Shamrock tries to regain control of the ball. Kicking into the box, trying to tie it. Ball is punched away by the Shelbourne keeper. Ball snatched off the foot, and now Shamrock Rovers again into the 4th minute of injury time. No whistles blown for injuries yet since we went in, so we can only assume there's only about 60 seconds left here. So yeah, the way that 3rd level, it sounds like, is going to work, since it's a group of 3 for now, it will be the top 3. There'll be the 3 champions as well as the top performer of the runner-up. So basically a wild card in a 4-team tournament. Ball has gone out. Are they going to blow the whistle on this, or are they going to let Shamrock Rovers get one more attack? Shelbourne wants the whistle blown. They throw it really far back. Will this be enough? And there is the whistle. They have called it. And that is major. That is going to change some things up in the standings. All right, well. It's like that covers matters here, so looks like this ran pretty well. I will probably be coming back to this next week, and we will also probably get some World Cup matches in the near future, so look forward to that. For now, enjoy the rest of your day. If you're watching stateside and rooting for Team USA, this should be fun, and go Angels.